Hey YouTube, just a quick shoot here. I'm in the process of installing a new head unit in my HHR. And this here is the ungodly mess that it has turned out to be. Alright, but any of you guys who work on cars or do any of this stuff are gonna kinda have an idea what I'm doing here. So this right here is the Walmart kit. It is the gm3000sw or SW, whatever it is. I thought I had the box here somewhere, but turns out I do not. But anyway, it's the gm3000sw or SWC. You can buy at Walmart. It says it is the kit for an 08 HHR, which is what we've got here. And you read the instructions, and it gives you this box here, right? And on the HHR, you have to use harness B, which is this harness here. There's a label on it right there. So that's harness B. But if you want your steering wheel controls to work, which I have a pretty nice Kenwood unit, and you know, if you're going to take the time and money to install a nice unit, these things right here, you want them to work. They're not a deal breaker. You know, I'm not willing to spend bunches and bunches and bunches of money on this stuff, but unfortunately at this point I have. So this right here is $70 at Walmart, right? So you're supposed to be able to get the harness here and this here, and then you come out with this harness here that goes to your radio, right? So this is what I've got. These are the speaker wires, which I do not use because I have a complete system and I use RCAs running back to my amps in the back. Okay, so I don't use any of these speaker wires for nothing. Now, you got your power and your ground right here, your illumination, your constant hot, and then your red right here is your switch for turning it on and off, right? This is your steering wheel control wire, which is supposed to be connected to the brown wire of the smaller plug that goes on that unit there, which I have right here. Now, for a Kenwood unit, which is what I have, you're supposed to cut two loops, the green and the orange. Yours may be different. And then you're supposed to connect the brown key 1 wire to this wire right here, which, as you can see, I have this in my hand, so it is actually not hooked up. So what is that brown wire, might you ask? Well, when I hook this up to that scosche unit right there and then connect it the way they say, it does not function. The steering wheel controls right here do absolutely nothing to the radio right there. So, makes this useless. So what I have at the moment is I'm trying to get this figured out, because this should work. I mean, I would think if it didn't work, you would see it on all kinds of forums, how crappy this thing is. So I'm still working on figuring that out. But in the meantime, so I can put this thing back together, I have this right here, which is a different brand, as you see here. And I had to get a separate steering wheel controller and plug in, which this one you just basically, this is what this one here is this right here. Okay, so this is a universal steering wheel controller, right? Which makes it all a pain in the butt, because this unit right here is supposed to do everything, and it was $70. This unit right here is only supposed to do the steering wheel controls, and it's $80. So it's kind of crappy that I have to have both of them. So this is like, you know, close to $150, $160 worth of stuff right here, which is insane just to have steering wheel controls. And this one is what you need to turn it on and off. You don't have an REM to turn the radio off and on unless you have this. I, however, have actually, if you look back in here, I got this wire right here, which I have actually ran to a switched power source in the fuse box that's right down there. So if I move this out the way, you can see that blue wire is down in there, and you can see that blue connector right there. So I've connected that on to a switched wire. I might do another video and show you guys that at a later date, but for now I don't need this because I have this box that is supposed to give me steering wheel controls. Okay, but the gm3000sw or SWC, whatever it is, doesn't function properly. So I'm trying to get that figured out. But just for any of you guys with an HHR like I have here with steering wheel controls, who think you're going to buy this $80 kit and then it's going to be plug and play like it says that it is not. Now granted, it may be different if you are able to use, let's see what I do with that little plug here. Now if you have it like a Pioneer or something that actually has this input for your steering wheel controls, that may work. I'm not 100%, but I don't believe that it will, because unlike on this and the harness that comes with your gm3000, okay, if you look, I had to go to the stock plugs right here. Okay, these are the ones that are attached to the car, and I had to actually attach a wire here to this white wire with the black stripe, and then I had to come over here to this solid blue wire, and I had to kind of run a wire into those wires to even get it to work, because on the plug here, those wires do not come out of the plugs that came with this, or the harness that came with this. So technically speaking, this unit right here that costs $70 at Walmart for your HHRs or Cobalts, I know have the same exact radio. But when you look at this harness here, it does not have the wire in the plug that goes to that blue wire. There's no wire that comes out of this that would connect to that blue wire. And likewise in this one, that white wire, there is not a wire that comes out of here that would be that white wire. And for reference, I know the green and the purple, those are two speaker wires. So the only thing you even have coming out of this is speaker wires, which I'm not using, so those are all irrelevant. So like I said, I actually had to tap into these two wires. So in order to figure out how to get this working, this is actually going to have to be tapped into those two wires for this to even function. So what wires I use to tap this into that, I'm not quite sure of. But once I get that figured out, I will go ahead and post another update for you guys, so that you guys can only spend the money on this and not have to go get some secondary unit like this and figure out how you're going to get these two boxes now back into that hole, which is not very big to begin with. I mean, me personally, you guys are putting your stereos in your HHR. I have my unit. That's a pretty standard size for a double DIN head unit. You know, it's not extra big or nothing like that. And when you look in the hole, originally there was only just a little hole right here for all these wires to come through. I actually had to cut that out because the RCAs stick out of the back and they would poke into that plastic and you couldn't even push the head unit back. So today I've actually cut this side out over here so that I can actually take this box from Walmart and stick it in there with the speaker facing out. That way it'll be more audible for the door chimes and all of that. But that's what I've had to do to get the steering wheel controls to work, to get this right here to function with that right there in my HHR. I had to buy this unit, which is what gives you an REM, which you don't have to have this unit. You can actually buy the cheaper units. I guess while I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and show you. But you can buy the cheaper unit or the cheaper harness and not have this. And then if you come down here into this thing down here, right? if you look down here, okay, what I've done is I've gotten one of these little blue connectors here. Now these actually fold over. Many of you guys that do wiring, you'll know what that is. That's a thing that flips up, and you snap it onto the wire that's already in place, so you don't actually have to cut the wire. Now I took a connector or a tester and tested to see which wires are good there, or which ones are switched, and you can kind of see where that wire is located. I'm sitting in the driver's side seat, so I can't see which one it is, but it looks like it's the wire in the third block down right there, right next to the screw. So, you know, you can snap something onto that, and that'll give you an REM. So that blue wire right there is actually switched with the ignition. So then you would run that wire on up here like I have. Here's the wire. And that wire is switched with your key, so that'll turn your radio on and off with the key. But you won't have any of the retained, like if you switch your key off, then it stays on for a second. Like if you see, take my keys and flip this on for a second, you'll see the radio comes on, and you get the door ding because the door's open. But the radio comes on, and then if I shut the door, alright, so if I shut the door and turn the ignition off, see, here's the key, the radio is still on. And as you see, the way I have it hooked up now, you can hear, so you can hear the radio working, and the controls are working. But like I said, I had to get a second unit, and then I had to program that unit, which was kind of a pain in the butt. So, but that's what I've got right now. And once I get this unit here figured out, then I'm going to get it fixed, and I'm going to take this other unit back out, and I'll probably use it on the radio in my other car over here. I got a Mazda, and it's going to have a Kenwood unit in it as well, so, you know, I can use this unit on it. But that's where I'm at with it, guys. I just thought I'd let you guys know. If you think you're going to get this for $80 or $70 at Walmart, plug and play, and then have your steering wheel controls work, think again, because this does not function. And I tried, even with the other connectors that's in it. There is a second connector right here. That's an A, and it actually will plug into that. But then you don't even get power, because the power wires and stuff are all in different parts of the plugs. So those things aren't going to work for you. You do need the B, and even with the B, you're going to have to plunge into wires back here. So like I said, if you get that other unit like I did, the Access universal controls, you're going to need the white wire with the black stripe, and you're going to need the solid blue wire on this plug over here is what you're going to have to tap into. But that's it for me for right now, guys. For the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can't shove all this stuff back in there. And once I get that figured out, naturally, I'm going to try to tidy this up, because this is way too many wires. And I still got to do something with that. Can't leave that bare. But that's probably going to have to be undone in the near future, so tape it is. But that's where I'm at, guys. So I'll catch you next time.